Yeah, I think I think the staff that they were able to bring in and hire was good. I think Jimmy Rogers is a good hire. We've said this thousands of times. We think is a good hire from Washington State, and then at one point South Dakota State won a national championship at South Dakota State. But it's really what he did at Washington State that makes this year not a rebuilding year. That's why he says it's not a rebuild year to him. That's not how he sees it. That's not how he views it. And it's because he took a roster of 70 new players at a team with no conference, with one third the money and NIL spending as Iowa State, and went 7-6. Had to play Washington, James Madison, Virginia, North Texas, Ole Miss, and he almost beat most of those teams.
Yeah.
So to think he was 2 point, I mean 2 points from beating Virginia. He was 2 or 4 points or whatever it was from beating JMU, and 3 points for beating Ole Miss is insane. Like they could have gone 8-5 or 9-4 or 10-3, but the competitiveness, the way that they competed over there, it just shows the heart, the spirit, and the mindset of their players. And it was driven by an engine on defense named Jesse Bobbitt. Jesse Bobbitt's defense in Washington State finished 26th in the country last year, according to ESPN. Allowed just 20 points a game. Held Ole Miss, like I said, to 24 points, Virginia to 22, James Madison to 20. Yeah, there were games, the Washington game, they lost that by like 30 points. But going into halftime, it was almost tied. It was neck and neck. Same thing for North Texas. And so the the kind of energy that Jesse Bobbitt will bring on defense, I think, is great. I mean, and this is coming from a fan who grew up in the 3-3-5, who watched a 3-3-5 and knows that they're moving to a 4-2-5 or a 4-3, whatever it is. And I'm honestly excited about it. I am. I think that is the Big 12 is not the Big 10. It's not a running conference, but you are gonna play teams in the Big 12 with really good running backs, really good offensive lines. And Iowa State, they're gonna play Utah. Their offensive line is always really good. BYU, I mean, they have. I think L.J. Martin was his name. He was just named the offensive preseason player of the year. I
Yeah.
think so.
Yeah.
They're going to face some really good running backs. And you look at the guys they brought in the portal on defensive line. They brought in a lot of Washington State guys. Caden Crawford from South Dakota. He's an FCS All-American over there. They brought in Blake Hawkins from Iowa Western. His stats, I know it's JUCO, but look at his stats. His stats were crazy insane.
Yeah.
And then, like we mentioned earlier, Isaac Bobby Terrell, then Max Biglin,
Boucher.
and Jack Janikowski, all those guys. And then to hold over guys like Zamir Hawk and, Jace Gilbert, or was it Jace Gilbert or Trey Verdon, maybe? I don't know.
Trey Verdon, yep. Trey Verdon.
Guys from the previous staff. I think the defensive line is going to be good. It really is. And then the linebackers, you kind of get a little bit smaller, but faster linebackers, and which fits well when you have a 4-man front. It doesn't fit well when you have a 3-man front, because in a 3-man front you need those big giant linebackers to go and clog those holes. Because if the running back does get through, one of the B gaps, you don't want that big running. You don't want L.J. Martin against a 6 foot, 190, 200 pound line. You want him against a big linebacker like a Cooper Ebel or Brazilian or whatever. But because you have that 4-man front, they're not going to be able to get through as easy. And to force it in this whole build build the defense around the fast small linebackers ideology is to force teams to run the ball side to side. It's to force them to spread the field. Which, when you have fast linebackers like Carson Willick and Bo Goodwin and Tristan Exline and Montrezl Smith, I think it's going to work really well. And then you look at the secondary. Obviously, Braden Alls is out for the season. Terrible loss. Sucks that he went down. Hopefully, fingers crossed, knock on wood, that doesn't happen again. Hopefully, we don't have any more injuries. I don't care if it's to a third stringer. Like, we don't. Iowa State deserves the next 5 years of Cyclone athletics injury free. That's just what we deserve, honestly.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think the defense will be what holds this team together, and I think it's going to be what keeps this team in a lot of games. And because if you do have those offensive struggles, if you struggle to run the ball against a team or you struggle to pass the ball against a team, where do you turn to? Well, you turn to your defense to get stops. You turn to your defense to keep the game under control, to keep it from getting out of hand. And I think Iowa State, like I said, I think Iowa State's going to have that this year. And then just to head on to special teams real quick, Iowa State. Phil Steele, I was reading my magazine, and I got to the previews, the unit rankings. So he does unit rankings of every position group in the country.
Yep.
And I get to special teams. And I'm like, all right, Iowa State probably isn't going to rank very high in all the other ones, but I'm gonna go right to special teams. And Iowa State isn't even top 65.
With the best kicker in the country.
Like, what? Not even
Yeah.
top 65 in the country?
Yeah.
Iowa's number 6? Like, I was just shocked. Like, what are we doing, Phil Steele? I burned the magazine. I burned it. I don't want it anymore. I don't want it.
Oh my god.
It was absolutely insane. Like, and we're not an Iowa podcast, but they're our rivals. So just a quick comparison here. Iowa lost their kicker, their punter, their kick returner, their punt returner, their long snapper, and their coach, their special teams coach. So they have a brand new special teams. And they're just saying, oh, they're always good at special teams, so they're automatically top. No, that's not how it works, Phil Steele. That's not how it works. And you can put them top 20, top 30, or whatever, but you can't bank on that and put them number 6 in the country and not even have Iowa State in there at all. Like, Iowa State, we have a better kicker than Iowa, who happens to be Iowa's daddy. Aiden Flora. Look at Aiden Flora last year. I mean, the dude come week 2, he did really good in the Kansas State game. He flew down there and caused a fumble on the first play, but then look at the punt returns he had against South Dakota. He almost took 2 to the house, and he got injured, and he was out for like the rest of the year. Came back to the TCU game, took one back to the house. Aiden Flora is the next big punt returner / kick returner in the state of Iowa. Sorry, Iowa. Cade Weegen's gone. Aiden Flora's in the house, and he will be going to the house a lot this year. And so I don't know. That was shocking. This off season has not been great. To be an Iowa State fan, for Iowa State fans in general, but I think the best is yet to come, and I think a really good year one with the staff and with Jimmy Rogers would help kind of soothe the pain and the heartbreak that the Iowa State fans have been enduring for the past year. So AJ, what are your thoughts on maybe Coach Roll and Bobbitt and all those guys?